Hi friends, it's Deanna Willison from Our Blooming Catholic Life, and I'm coming to you today with something that's been a bit of an explosive issue on Twitter. It's probably been a week since it happened, and a lot of people are just immediately shutting down conversation. The cancel culture set in, the person who said this comment has already been deleted, but let's have a discussion instead. Um, so the person is a very well-known chastity speaker, and they said, let's all have a frank discussion here that chick flicks are like emotional porn, and the internet blew up. Why is it a problem? Okay, I'll start off right away. It's not necessarily a fair comparison on one point. I'll give you this point. Porn, nothing redeemable. Nothing redeemable about it. It is what it is. It's awful. It destroys lives. It leads you into a deepening hole of sin. No good. Okay, so chick flicks could be redeemed. Let's look at the good and the bad here. So the good part is a lot of my friends do like watching them. They're predictable. They have a happy ending. And it's about love oftentimes, whether it's between friends or a man and a woman. And that is a beautiful thing, and it's a wonderful thing, and it should be celebrated. But here's the problem. Just like gaming, just like porn, just like driving really fast, just like exercise, it offers a release of endorphins, right? It makes you feel good. And some people can watch one chick flick and walk away. Other people really can't. And to our young people out there, who many of them don't have a solid model of what a happy married life looks like, these films are getting dangerous. We all made fun of the H channel movies at Christmas time, but they're fun to make fun of. But are we having a real conversation about the problem? They are ridiculous. We love that idea of romance. Here's the good, solid, it's normally a good, solid, rugged man, right? And a woman who has lost her femininity and lost contact with her family, and she comes home and he helps her reconnect to her community, and she softens and they fall in love, and it's magical. What's the problem with that? Okay, women are losing their femininity at a record pace, and so that's an issue that needs to be addressed right there. And it doesn't even matter if they're living rural life or living in the city. That can happen to anyone, anywhere. Men, a lot of men aren't stupid, rugged men anymore. So what's this movie saying? You can't fall in love with a guy who has an office job, and who even has an office job anymore. Everybody's working from home. So what is like what are they even saying? They're saying that the roles of men and women are kind of ambiguous right now, and it's confusing for people, and they're trying to find them out. And that's a good conversation to have right there. Okay, next thing. When you move to a big city, oftentimes you're losing your sense of community. If you've been in a rural town, community looks different in the city than it does in rural communities. And it's not necessarily good or bad, but it is different. And so, how do you find that community? And I'd love to have that conversation. That's another beautiful conversation that we need to have. I know we saw, like, during the riots, any riot, it's a lot of people come from out of town. First of all, it's not even the people in the town. When it is the people in the town, they don't seem to discriminate. Like, they will burn down the building of a neighbor, someone that could actually live near them. They burn down community centers that are actually there for them. They will burn down churches. There was a lot of going after churches this year. A lot of going after the small mom and pop businesses that are the soul of a community normally. Those are the people who donate to your local causes, who look after your kids. Like, and those are the people get hurt. So community looks differently. In the country, you have people, when like one farmer loses a farm, that hits the community hard. Rural communities have issues like, okay, we have this big oil opportunity, whatever, this big opportunity, and it's going to require us to lose our church, or it's going to require 3 people to lose their farm. It's going to contaminate our well water. What does that look like? How many people are going to stay? Yeah, a great, an influx of jobs. Influx of jobs. Are those going to be jobs for the local people? Or are they going to be specialized jobs that people are going to move into your community? People with different values that look different than you, that may not want to join your community. They may form their own community in your community. That's a whole nother conversation. And these are all great conversations to have. And yeah, these are all based off themes that I've seen in H channel movies. And it's true, it's not just them. It's everyone. Think about a movie you've seen recently. Has it had a family with a mother and a father who've raised their own children, who've maybe adopted children or fostered children, but they're not like 15 marriages going on in different relationships, and most of their kids are half siblings? And what does it look like? How do they build each other up? What is the purpose? What is even the purpose of them being together? Is it that they find happiness, that they learn to love again? Where does God fit in any of these relationships? Because I've seen people live this. And I get the younger generation, the millennials, are like, look, we've been hearing chastity speakers tell us since we came out of the womb, porn is bad, right? And so they've gotten that message. And so they're really offended when somebody would say chick flicks are emotional porn. They're like, no, you've told us porn is like one of the ultimate evils. And now you're saying TV shows are? Like, where's the line? And I get what they're saying. But you have to understand, I'm from a generation or two above that. I'm a Gen Xer, and I have actually seen families torn apart by this issue. Like, your marriage isn't so hot, and you could work on it with your husband, but there's that show over there. Like, maybe you go out to see a movie and he goes out with his friends, and you're kind of drawn apart. You're each drawn into your own fantasies. And I've seen women then start saying, well, my husband, he's not taking me out to dinner. He's not doing all the things the guy in the movie is doing. And instead of discussing it with their husband or going to counseling or really working on it or seeking counseling from their pastor at their church, right? And instead, they're falling deeper and deeper into this romantic ideal trap. And it can happen to men or women. But I've seen that trap, and eventually they leave that husband or they leave that wife, and they go and have this great romance with someone they met, do an activity, just like the movies, right? And you know what? Those relationships usually don't have a solid basis. And those same problems creep in once you're married and you're living with each other, you have jobs, like you've got other responsibilities, you're tired, the romance isn't new, you're not doing as much, and they want that adrenaline hit of that early romance. And without that solid foundation, without turning to God, without having those regular date nights, all those things that we know that work, those relationships fall apart. And guess what? They're going to do the exact same thing again because the movies tell them it works. The movies give them that hit of adrenaline. Maybe not adrenaline, sorry, endorphins. And it is a trap. It is something that needs to be discussed. And it does take effort. It takes hard conversations. It takes hurt feelings sometimes. I am just as guilty as anyone else of this. And then you say, hey, wait, I have to make an effort. And there are some movie makers that are really dedicated to showing people what a good family looks like, what helps a family survive, what a family is a model of. Remember, our families are models of the Trinity to start with. That full community, not just community, but in complete communion. And we're trying for that as our goal. And honestly, we can't really do that on our own. We are broken people and we need help. And God bless those people who are out there, who are making movies, who are making films, who are having these hard conversations. To the kids of all those mixed marriages that still see each other as brothers and sisters, no matter who their parents are, God bless them for that, because it's not easy. And it's certainly not easy if you don't have God in your life, if you don't have that model of the Trinity. And so it is a challenge out there. And I challenge you, talk to your girlfriends about this. Next time someone suggests a chick flick, be like, you know what? I think this one glorifies whatever. Or say, hey, does this movie really show what a good Christian friendship looks like? If not, why don't we have a game night instead? Why don't we plan date nights with our husband? Let's do some research and pick each other's brains and see what we can do. Hey, why don't I babysit for you instead? Like, maybe two of your, like, this doesn't work in COVID times, obviously, unless you're in a pod already, but maybe two or three women could have all the kids over, have a big family party while one couple's having a date night. And then you could rotate who is the couple who gets to go on the date night while the others are having great family fun in their little family pod right now, right? At the cul-de-sacs, I know we're doing this. And so that could be a super fun idea. So yeah, hey, you need time with your girlfriends, but it doesn't have to be self-destructive or marriage destructive times with your girlfriends. So sure, maybe go to see a chick flick or, watch one on TV. You could even, watch it over Skype together or something, however you're doing that. And then have a frank discussion about it with your friends. Say, it really made me happy when this couple did this. I wonder if that would work in my marriage. Or, oh, that's a great idea for so-and-so. Or, hey, when was the last time we had one of those big community bazaars? Or, whatever it is that they're having in their goofy small town movies. Really use them as a discussion point, and that would redeem them. Remember, that's the difference I said in the beginning. Porn, not redeemable. Chick flicks, they are absolutely redeemable, but it's going to take the same hard conversations that are going to happen in reality in our own relationships. So I know, I know my discussions on Twitter did anger some people because, hey, I mean, it's true though. There are issues there and we need to address them. If you don't like that label, that's fair enough. If you don't want to call them emotional porn, that is fair enough. I get that. I think the person maybe was looking for something to shock you into a conversation because sometimes people refuse to have the conversation unless it is shocking. And well, that's kind of sad, isn't it? And maybe we need to address that as well, just having normal conversations. So get out there, friends. Get on whatever social media platform or video conferencing, FaceTime some friends, whatever your mode of communication is. Get out there and start talking and building your community up and build up those marriages and support those young relationships out there so that they don't find themselves divorced at 30 and going back to their small town. Woo-hoo-hoo. Let's support each other so we don't get that sad and desperate. I guess that's it. I mean, because like St. Augustine said, our hearts are restless, Lord, until they rest in you. And we are the body of Christ. If we are letting our friends fall into this trap, shame on us. What can we do to rebuild those communities that we used to see? And filmmakers, I'm pointing at you too. I'm pointing a lot at me, but I'm pointing a little bit at you. Can we see more of that? Let's see more of that. Let's see more of those hard conversations, more of those date nights, more of what makes families work. And families that have God at their heart, and a little bit less of just those emotional, trashy videos. Thanks for watching. If you like this video at all, please give it a thumbs up, like, share it, subscribe, join in the conversation. We have a group over on Facebook, our Blooming Catholic Life with Deanna Williston. And get in the conversation, add stuff in the comments, let people know, but let's have a civil conversation about it, but let's have a real conversation. God bless you, friends.